Hello, everybody. It's Dr. Saundra of Dr. Saundra Speaks. I hope you have had a fantastic day and you are ready for Dr. Saundra Speaks on tonight. I am so excited to be with you. So come on in, come on in. I am ready to teach on our lesson tonight. The one thing you need to do before the end of the year. I see you're coming on in. I appreciate you. Come on in. Hello, Debbie. Hello, Tanya. Come on in. While y'all are coming in, I'm going to go over here and update my computer a little bit so that I can see you all. All right, let's make sure that I can see you guys. Make sure that what I'm seeing on the phone is what you're seeing on the screen. So come on in. Hello, Paula. Hello, Glenda. I think I may have missed a couple of people. I'm not sure. I see Orphaletta. Come on in. Come on in. It's updating now on my computer. You know what, y'all? I've got so much stuff on my computer that my computer is running slow. Sounds like it's time for a new Apple. Sounds like it's time for a new Apple, right? I've had this one for about 4 years. So it's about time for me to get a new one now and pass this one on. All right, let me see what you all are seeing. There we go. Okay, I always like to see, and let me make this bigger. So let me turn the volume off. There we go. So I can see what you all are seeing. So I hope you all have had a fantastic Sunday. I know I have. Can y'all tell I've been resting? Can y'all tell that Dr. Saundra has gotten some rest? Can you tell? Can you tell? Can you tell, right? Well, I tell you what, it is amazing what, you know what, it's not amazing because the Bible tells you to rest, right? It's not amazing. It's what we should be doing, right? So I am was so elated that I could get some rest this past weekend and just be able to take care of me. I didn't go out of my house. Well, I went walking one day, but yesterday I didn't even go out of the house. I mean, that's how I just needed to just chill and relax and rest, and that's what I did. Okay, and y'all may have seen emails coming from me and that sort of thing, but those things are scheduled and planned way ahead of time. Okay, those are done like at the beginning of the month for the whole month. And some of them are done, maybe mid-month, something like that. But the majority of them are done in the middle of the month, in the beginning of the month for the whole month. And if you see me responding back, now of course I'm responding back real time. But other than that, then we do a lot of scheduling around here. We have a lot of systems that go with my company. And so in order to keep the kind of company I have and the kind of people and the clients and everything going, you have to have systems in your business. And so I have that and teach that. And so want to make sure that we all do that. All right. So welcome everybody. I have about 9:02, just checking to see okay, it looks like it looks good. I always like to make sure the lighting looks good and everything in terms of moving forward or before I actually get started. So tonight, y'all, we're going to be talking about the one move you need to make in 2019. All right, now, today is December 1st. And December 1st means there's 31 days? No, 31 days left, or 30 days left after today. 30 days left in December. And it just astonishes me. I don't know about you, but it astonishes me that 2019 is gone just like that. It astonishes me. I counted on the school calendar. I'm not sure if you can see it behind me or not, but I was just counting on the school calendar that in 6 months, my son will graduate high school. Okay, I remember the day we brought him home. And he's getting ready to graduate high school. And he's getting ready to go out on his own. It astonishes me that in 7 months and a couple of days, I will be 57 years old. Okay? It astonishes me that there's just so much going on in my life at this point in time in my life. I'm enjoying everything. But with all these things going on, there's one thing that I've learned that I had to do in order for the remainder of 2019. Now, what I'm about to share with you is something that I had to start doing in October. I actually had to start doing in October because I told you all about the pain in my arm and all the things that were going on and everything. So I had to start this in October. But what it has done is I am now able to even do more of something that I am just have been doing in the past. I've been doing it, but not as well as I should have been doing. So I want to share that with you all. And this is something that you've got to do. And you've got to do this before 2020. And I will tell you why in just a second. You got to do it before 2020. So let me say some more hellos. I see Naticia. Hey, Shanika. Hello, Monica. How are you? Hi, Sherry. Welcome, welcome. Everybody, come on in. And let me just check to make sure everything is okay. Looks like it. All right. And so, oh, I see Carol's on. Hello, Carol. Now, I wonder why the comments are not showing on. Somebody say hello. I think somebody did say hello to me. Yeah. Hi, Keena. How are you? And welcome to the boot camp. I saw that you got the latest roster for the boot camp, and I saw that you're on it. Welcome, welcome. Okay. Glad to have you there. And I'm trying to figure out why I can see a response on the computer, but I don't see it on the phone. Interesting. Well, don't have time to figure it out now. Figure it out later, because I do see Cheryl says hello. Hi, Cheryl, which means I am able to see comments on my phone. That's where I'm focusing tonight. So, for those of you that this is the first time that you've joined me, my name is Dr. Saundra Williams, and I am the CEO and founder of the Vision Building Institute for Women. And the Vision Building Institute for Women focuses on helping women through coaching, mentoring, training, and teaching to move forward either in their calling or their career. Because the Lord had gifted me to be a multifaceted woman, as are many of you. I have a wonderful career that I love that stemmed from what do you call it, leadership and all the different things that I've done. Before I retired, I was senior vice president for all 58 community colleges in the state of North Carolina. Love that, enjoy that, but when God says it's time to go, you got to do what God says. And so about 3 years ago, I started my own company, which has different components to it. The component you're in right now is the Vision Building Institute for Women. And I'm excited about that because I get to do what I love to do, and that is to help women move forward in their calling and or their career. I do consulting, and I do professional executive coaching. Corporations bring me in, churches bring me in, individuals work with me, that sort of thing. And I teach classes. The Institute has classes. It has an academy that's getting ready to roll out at the beginning of the year. I'm also an author and a speaker. So I do a lot of different things. But on tonight, I'm doing one of my favorite things, which is to teach. And I want to share something with you before I get into tonight's topic. Many of you may have already seen, I'm not sure if you paid attention to it or not, but you've noticed and you've seen that I have changed my moniker, my brand moniker, from Master Vision Coach to and Calling and Career Mentor. And I've changed that to Teacher and Calling and Career Coach. And I want to tell you, give me about maybe 60 seconds here, and then we'll get straight into the topic on tonight. I changed it because I'm actually coaching. Now I'll take that back. I'm not coaching her. I'm mentoring a millennial. And millennials, I don't mentor a lot of millennials because I'm just the age gap, you know. Usually I do a lot of speaking to millennials. I do a lot of training, that sort of thing. But when it comes to mentoring, it's a little bit different. But this particular young lady, she sought me out. I've never met her face to face. And I know of her from a mutual acquaintance. But she asked me to mentor her, and I said yes. And so one of the things that she has done, and I appreciate her so much for this, and I'm going to tell her this when I talk to her next week or later this week, is that she has helped me to see that either you're going to walk in your calling and call yourself what God calls you, or you're not. It's just that simple. God has called me to teach. God has called me to teach His Word. He's called me to teach how to apply His Word in any place, in any setting that you are. God has called me to take His Word and to rightly divide it so that people can understand the truth of God's Word and put it to practice in their life. And I never called myself a teacher. And one of the, and I'm talking about teacher in terms of the fivefold ministry. I've done things in terms of teaching. I have a teacher certification for women who have been called to teach God's Word, and actually going to be doing that with No Nonsense Kingdom Alliance again this year. And so, again in 2020. And I think it's in January, February timeframe. I don't really know the dates off the top of my head, but I know it's coming up. So, but I'm really excited because working with this young lady helped me to see either you're going to call yourself what God says you are, or you're not. So, I have always said that I walk in the office of teacher. I have always said that God has called me to teach. I even have a ministry called Teach, okay? Train and equip for active Christ-like holiness. But I've never, ever actually called myself a teacher. So, as of today, December 1st, and I put it on a few social media posts before, but I am now Dr. Saundra Williams, teacher and calling and career coach. That's exactly what I do. It's what I do all the time. It's what I do everywhere. And I'm excited to be able to do that. So I thank each and every one of you for being here to allow me to do that on Sunday evenings. So for those of you, if this is your first time here, then you know that usually every Sunday evening, I come to you with a taught word, and we're focusing on those things that help women to move forward either in their calling or their career. Some of you want to move forward in your calling by writing a book or starting a ministry or just understanding your calling. We just finished the Go Beyond Purpose, and for those people that were in Go Beyond Purpose, and anything you do with me is intense, okay? When I say intense, I mean you're going to work, okay? So we just finished that, and it was absolutely awesome. Some of the ladies, some of the testimonies coming out of that, I can't wait to share them with you. We're getting ready to go into, as a matter of fact, tomorrow night, we are beginning the Action Plus Results Bootcamp. I told you that if you are connected to me in any shape, form, or fashion, that in 2020, you are going to take action and get results. Take action and get results. God showed me that earlier this year. And that's where we're focusing, taking action and getting results. And that calls for work. That calls for discipline. That calls for intentionality. That calls for being intense. And so starting tomorrow night, we start the Action Plus Results Bootcamp. And I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end. If you want to enroll and you have not enrolled, then you need to go ahead and enroll. Okay, you need to go ahead and enroll. I will have a Cyber Monday bonus on tomorrow. That'll roll out on tomorrow morning, but that's only an 8-hour bonus. If you missed it on Friday, I'm sorry. Those people that it starts at midnight tonight. The Cyber Monday bonus will start at midnight tonight. But those people who heard me on Friday as I was doing my Dr. Saundra Speaks walk, and I had a couple people to jump in and get that bonus, which is not something I normally do when I do a class, but I'm going to go ahead and do it this time. So if you have not already signed up, then make sure you go to bit.ly/AR Bootcamp 2020. bit.ly /AR Bootcamp 2020, and you'll be able to read about it. Go ahead and sign up for it. And I tell you what, if you sign up for it between now and 5 p.m. tomorrow, then I'll let you go. I'll go ahead and give you the bonus. Okay. And I'll tell you what the bonus is later on. Okay. But just know the bonus is worth it. All right. So now let's go ahead and get started and talk about tonight's topic. The one thing, okay, the one thing that or the one move, I think I called it, the one move you need to make in 2019. And I have a move you need to make, and I have an action you need to take. Oh, that sounds kind of cool, doesn't it? A move you need to make and an action that you need to take. And I will tell you, one of the things that I've learned over the past couple of months, and you know, I've taught this before, but I've also learned that when God takes you to a new level, when He grows you, when He elevates you, and I have been elevated in so many different arenas in the past year, that when God does all of that for you, then everything around you grows. Everything around you elevates. Everything around you moves to a higher level. Everything around you gets to be, or you have to be more intentional about the things around you. And you can't do when God elevates you, you can't do the same kind of work at the new elevation. The way you do things has to change. The way you operate has to change. You have to cut back on some stuff because the things at the higher level will need more of your thinking and your heart more so than that they did before. So I'm not saying that I didn't give my thinking and I didn't give my heart and I didn't give my time and my resources and my talents, but when God elevates you, he wants more of you. And here's the thing about it, that when it comes to elevation, there are more people that need more from you, but you can't service everybody. You can't service everybody, even though that they need more of you. So, hey, Dr. Grant, how are you doing? More thinking and more heart. Exactly. So when God elevates you, it's not about you're taking a new position and you're doing things, or you're taking action in the new position like you did in the previous position. No, when God elevates you, God elevates your mind, so your thinking elevates. When God elevates you, he elevates your heart, so the things that you love and you care about will need even more of you, but they'll probably need you more at a different level. Okay, I'll give you an example. My son is getting ready to graduate high school. He needs me differently now, especially in this season because it's basketball season. Okay, so he needs me more now, and than he did this time last year. Okay, he needs me in a different way now than he did this time last year. Okay, so that's an elevation of heart. Okay, I know this time next year I'm going to be sitting in front of you, and he won't be here. He'll be at school somewhere, and I'm going to be like, and I can't be worried about and thinking about, I've got to know that everything in me and everything in Dennis, that we have poured out everything we possibly could to him. And we've got 6 months to do it. As my friend told me, whatever you haven't done, you've got 6 months to do it. Okay. And so those kinds of things, elevation of heart. When you talk about elevation of thinking, all right, the Lord has elevated me in the ministry. The Lord has elevated me in my business. The Lord has elevated me in terms of the kinds of clients and the kinds of things that I do now. It's elevation, and it requires a different level of thinking from me. Even the women that he's bringing to me, for me to coach, for me to mentor, even to be a part of my classes, okay, they are at a different level. And so I can no longer teach at the same level that I taught in this time last year. You should have grown by virtue of your being online with me. You should have grown. Anybody that was connected to me last year should have grown. Okay, which means that if you're growing, I've got to grow too, so that I can continue to do the work with you that God has called me to do, the kind of work that God has called me to do with you. So in that, I want you to understand that all of that is going to require something of you as we exit 2019 and go into 2020, and it's one word. Okay, and if you are writing, you need to write this word down. Okay, and that one word is focus. Let me say it again. Focus. Focus. You have got to stay focused at the end, and I'm looking for a particular note I wrote here. You've got to stay focused with what it is that you are doing for the rest of the year. And here's the thing I want you to understand. Here we go. Is you must not lose focus for what you have to do in 2020. Now, I'm going to give you one part, and then I'm going to go into the next part for 2020. So let me give you 2019. Let me tell you why it's so important that you focus in 2019. 30 days. You've got 30 days that you've got to focus. Okay? And because there are some things, there are some goals, and if you haven't listened to my teaching on why I'm not setting goals in 2020, you need to hear that one. Okay, it's down in here somewhere. Okay, but I'm not setting goals in 2020. I am only going to walk in and work the assignment that God has given me. Okay, I'm going to focus on the assignment that God has given me in 2020, and I'm going to work on that focus now. And everybody that's connected to me via the AR boot camp, Actions Plus Result, I call it the AR boot camp in my mind, but the Actions Plus Result boot camp, they start tomorrow, and they're going to be doing the same thing. Okay, we are going to focus on what it is that our assignment is, and we are going to make sure that whatever it takes to make it happen in 2020, we're going to be planning for it now. Now, usually I start this process or something like this process. I called it goal setting. And I normally start this process in October. And I couldn't figure out, God, why is it that I got all this pain? I can't type. I can't write. I can't do anything that I'm supposed to be doing in October. Okay, it's October. The ladies in the inner circle, the ladies need to know what we're going to be, what they need to be doing. I need to help them, Lord. And I couldn't do that. I couldn't do it. But what God allowed me to happen to me is one of those be still and know that I am God moments. Okay. Actually months. So I had to be still and know that he is God. I had to hear him. And one of the things that God kept saying over and over is that there's so much work that we're taking action, but we're not taking the kind of action that is bringing us the results that God is looking for. Because see, the results that God is looking for is transformation in you and transformation in those people that you're called to serve. Okay, I better not get on that. That's a little bit. That's some of the Action Plus Results boot camp kind of thing we're going to be talking about tomorrow in orientation. So let me stay focused. Okay, talking about focus. Let me stay focused. Right. So we need to focus in the remainder of 2020. Now the enemy would have you have hindrances and distractions that will try to rob you of focus. Yes, even in the Christmas season, even in the New Year's coming up, right? What do we call it? Watch night or whatever, right? Even in all of that, let me look at the screen. Okay, it looks good. Even in all of that, the enemy would try to rob you via hindrances and distractions and keep you distracted from what it is that you should be focused on right now. So now, what is it that you need to be focused on between now and the end of the year? Okay. What is it that you should be focused on between now and the end of the year? Well, I will tell you, if you don't already know. If you haven't already determined what is it that God wants me working on, then the first thing you need to do is pray. Okay. The very first thing you need to do is pray. What is the assignment that God would have me do in 2020? What is the assignment that God would have me do? Now, let me tell you why let me just call him who he is. Let me tell you why the devil does not want you trying to stay focused right now. Now, I don't want you to get so wrapped up in the Christmas and buying presents, because it's not your birthday. It's Jesus' birthday. If anything, get caught up in the praise and worship of our wonderful Savior. Okay. Mighty Counselor, King of Kings, Lord of Lords. Okay. Get caught up in who he is. All right. But not caught up in all the presents and all that kind of stuff. I've done a lot of that. I do it all year long. Basically, I try to do it all year long. So I have things, so I have stuff, so I have so much stuff in there. Now I have to try to figure out and sort through it. And that takes about a day. All right. So what I want to tell you though is don't let the Christmas season become a hindrance that you are not properly prepared for January 1st. Because January 1st is coming. January 1st is coming. And sometimes we get to January 1st and we look like a deer in the headlights. Oh my God. What am I going to start doing? And then here's what happens. Everybody starts bringing this new year, new you kind of thing on board. And you go to this conference and you go to that conference and you hear this and you hear that. And because you have no focus going into 2020, you start doing everything everybody else starts to tell you. You start saying, oh, I'm going to write the book, or oh, I'm going to finish the ministry, or oh, I'm going to go back to school, or oh, I'm going to work on that new job, or oh, I'm going to do this, or oh, I'm going to do that, because you have no focus in 2019 going in in between now and December 31st because you don't have any focus. I could tell you anything and you could start and you'd want to run with it because it sounds good. Okay? There's nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with New Year, New You conferences. And that just sounds good. If that's somebody's conference, then Lord, forgive me. I'm not talking about your conference. Okay, I'm not talking about anybody's conference. I'm just saying that's a little saying we always say when we get to the new year. I heard somebody say the other day, new year, new revenue. Sounds wonderful. So people start businesses. You'll start to go back to the gym. All these things that you didn't do in 2019, you try to start it and do it in January of 2020. Well, let me tell you something. When the new year gets here, which is, I think, a Wednesday, actually watch night. Let's put another timer on it. Watch night. You need to already know what it is that you're going to be doing, what it is that your assignment for 2020, what is your assignment for first quarter? What is your assignment for second quarter? What is your assignment for third quarter? That's why I'm not setting goals. I'm going to hear from God and say, God, I know what you've given me. I know what you've given me, but what is the assignment that I need to do? I know one assignment is I'm going to be certifying coaches at the very beginning of the year. Like, I know I'm going to be doing that. I know there's a couple of other things that I'm doing in the first and second quarter at the beginning of the year. I'm making some changes to my business. I know those are some assignments. I'm doing some things in ministry this year. Yes, I am going to have a conference for women of God who are called to teach the word. Oh, I'm so excited about that. So teach is really going to be teach. Okay, for women of God who are called to teach the word. Hang on to that. That's way down the road. Don't worry about it right now. Just know it's coming. All right. So, and I know that last year I said we were going to do things and I didn't get to do them, but you know why? It's because I wasn't focused as I should have been. And so when things came in to interrupt, and some things were interruptions, and some things were hindrances and distractions, because there was no focus, or because I didn't have the kind of focus I should have had, then I sort of ran in different kind of directions. I don't want that to happen to you. So, your word between now and the end of the year is focus. The enemy will try to bring hindrances and distractions to you very quickly. I want you to remember, distractions are external. The enemy will try to bring a distraction to you, like something happening or you're going through something, but that doesn't mean that you don't focus. You still got to stay focused between now and the end of the year. Okay. Hey, Amanda. Hey, Diane. Hey, Kimberly. How are you? Amanda, I know that I think I saw somebody else. Angela, I saw somebody else who was signed up for the boot camp. Looking forward to seeing y'all on tomorrow. All right. So hindrances are those things that are internal to you. Most of the time, we're our own hindrance, where we think we can't do it, or we get depressed, or we just get tired, or we get distracted, or frustrated, something like that. Those are hindrances. But either way, the enemy will use hindrances and distractions for you not to remain focused. And you've got to remember that, ladies. You've got to remember that. So I had a whole lot of different strategies, but I'm only going to focus on one because of the time. I want you to remember that, yes, Yolanda, thank you. Focus is what you've got to do between now and the end of the year. All right. So when we talk about focus, this is how I want you to, there's two things I want you to do. Number one, I want you to complete, and this is very easy. You can do this on a sheet of paper. Okay. I want you to complete what I call a focus assessment. Okay. What I call a focus assessment. And your focus assessment is just answering one question for everything that's going on in your life. Okay. So if you just were to take a sheet of paper, and believe it or not, I don't have any. Here's a piece of paper. It's got something written on it, but you just take a sheet of paper, bring it down the middle, put a line down the middle, okay? And on that sheet of paper, on the left side of the sheet of paper, you write down everything that's going on in your life. Everything. Now, this will take you about an hour if you do it correctly, but this is necessary. Okay, you need to do this. You need to do this. You write down everything that's going on. So, for me, it would be, I've got some doctor visits. Okay, I've got to help my son with college things. We've got some basketball recruitment that we've got to do, that he's got to respond to. We have some, what else is there? I'm just thinking about him. I kind of group things in categories, okay? I think about, nothing about my husband. I've got to be a wife, right? I've got some things I've got to do for him. With his business that he has that I do for him. For me, I've got to do some things for the business. I've got to do some things for Saundra personally. For my mom and for dad, I've got to buy Christmas. I've got to all these different things. Some of you are in school. You got to go to work. You got to do. I want you to list out all those things on the left hand side. Okay, so take about an hour just to do the list. Just to do the list. Okay, and then when you finish with the list, go back to the right-hand side of the column, and I want you to categorize that act, the thing that you've put there, and each one of those things that you've listed, I want you to categorize them as either necessary or noise. Okay? Because when you're focusing, the first thing you've got to do is you've got to determine what in your life is necessary and what in your life is noise. Because, see, if it's necessary, that means you need to continue to do it. You need to continue to do it. More than likely, when it's necessary, what you're working on is tied to the assignment that God has for you. Okay? I don't know if anybody, y'all aren't commenting, so I'm not sure if y'all are still with me. Let me know that you're still with me, because I don't know why the comments are not showing up on the computer. It's just kind of strange to me there. And I saw a couple on my screen, but I'm not sure there. So anyway, let me know if you're still with me. I'm going to keep going. Okay, so you complete what I call this focus assessment. And for those people who have, oh, great. Thank you, Amanda. So for those people who have worked with me before, whether you have worked with me one-on-one as a coach or been in any of my courses, you've probably already done this. And Christine says, we're with you. It's just deep and I'm reflecting on all I have to do. Yeah, this will really make you reflect on what you have to do. I mean, even if you just think about what you have to do in the next 10 days. Okay, if you can't do everything that's going on in your life, think of what you have to do in the next 10 days. All right, and ask yourself, is it necessary or is it noise? Because, see, here's the thing. If it's necessary, that means you got to keep on doing it. Got to continue to do it. Got to keep going. If it's noise, then you got to make a decision. You got to make a decision. Is this something that I need to be doing now? Is it something that someone else can do? Is this thing that I thought was necessary, is it really noise? And is it causing procrastination in another area of my life? Is it causing procrastination in the assignment that God has for me? Hey, Tara, how are you? Good to see you. All right. So you have to ask yourself. And the reason that this is so important now is because when you go into 2020, you don't want to take any unnecessaries or any noise into 2020. And you need to know what that is already. And let me help you with something. Sometimes and this is something that one of my coaches told me, and she told it to us from a business perspective. You know how there's so many business coaches out there, and you listen to them, they give you free stuff. And that's why I don't give a lot of free stuff. My free stuff comes on Sunday night. Okay. My free stuff comes on Sunday night. Oh, I will. Thank you. That's a good question, Angela. So my free stuff comes on Sunday night. I used to help some ever see me giving free classes. Because you know what? I don't do them for free, because when you make an investment to enroll, to work with me, then you know that you're going to make sure you make good on your investment. Okay. You want to make sure that you're doing the work. And if you don't do the work, you won't make good. If it's free, most people just drop it. So I don't do that anymore. Okay. I used to, but I don't do it anymore. All right. And you shouldn't either. That's a different kind of class, different group of students. Okay, those are my coaches that I work with that on. All right, so now Angela says, ask the question. And Angela, welcome. I know that you're in boot camp too. Good to see you tomorrow night. Angela says, speak more about focus assignment as it relates to priorities with family. Well, here's the thing with family. Your family is always necessary. What you are taking on to do for them could be necessary or noise. That's what you got to think about. Don't try to say that, and I'm not saying you're saying this, but I can't say that my husband is, well, let me use a different one, because I don't have that much stuff I need to do for him. I can't say that my son is noise. I'm not going to say that, because my son is never noise. Okay? But there are some things that I may be doing for him that he could do for himself. Or I could begin to train him even the more so that he could learn to do some things, he says, some of himself. Even though he's 18, there's still some things that a lot of stuff that he doesn't know. As those of you that are moms, you know that. Okay? So when you look at and think about what is noise, then your family is never noise. But what you are taking on for them could be. It could be something that they can do themselves. All right. So I want you to make sure that you get that and you understand that, because so many times we want to blame people for us not getting things done. You know, we want to blame people or blame our family or blame our work for not finishing that book. Don't blame it on the job because you didn't finish the book. Don't blame it on your children because you didn't finish the book. Don't blame it on your husband. Blame it on yourself, because you've got to prioritize that time to be able to do that. And one of the things that we are going to do in the Action Plus Results Bootcamp, we are going to learn to prioritize time. This is revolutionary. What I'm going to teach in this is revolutionary. It's so revolutionary that it has helped my son be able to work, and he's 18, be able to work through it because he needed time to study to get his schoolwork done. But, you know, if you're an athlete and you're practicing and workouts, then you're tired every day, or your schedule is filled up. Okay. But this is something that I taught him. It was taught to me. I taught it to him. And actually, I've learned it from several coaches and from several things that I've just been working with. And I said, you know what? This is why women can't get some things done, because we're not prioritizing our time right. We're not prioritizing our time right. We're going to be doing that in the Action Plus Results Bootcamp. Again, if you're not in there and you want to be in there, bit.ly/AR Bootcamp 2020. Okay? So the first thing I want you to do is to do a focus assessment. Remember, write everything you're doing on the left. Just list it all out. And now when I say, I need you to get into detail about that now. You need to get into detail. Just don't write that I go to work. Okay? And, or if you want to do it that way, then, okay, write that I go to work from 8 to 5. Okay? But then what I want you to do is I want you to separate out your lunchtime. Because when you're at work, you're only supposed to be working for whoever you're working for. Okay? But lunchtime is yours. So whether you have 30 minutes for lunch or whether you have an hour for lunch, I want you to pull that out. And then what are you doing in that time? Because what you're doing in that time, other than eating, could be necessary or noise. Eating is necessary. Okay? Staying on Facebook during lunch, unless you're watching me teach you a class, all right, is noise. Okay? Or just sliding through Facebook is noise. Hey, Sonia, how are you? It's good to see you tonight. Good to see you. All right? You have to ask my niece what I texted her the other day. I was worried about my baby down there. All right. So anyway, but I need for you all to do that, because doing the focus assessment and determining whether something is necessary or noise, you need to have that completed before you go into the new year. Because if you don't, you're going to start the new year. If you're writing, write this down. Or let me say it a different way. Don't start the new year with the same noise that you had in 2019. Okay. Don't start the new year with the same noise that you had in 2019. Now, if you're just joining and you don't know what I'm talking about by necessary or noise, please go back and listen to the replay. Please go back and listen to the replay. All right. So it's what you're doing, necessary or noise. Now, remember, noise can be a hindrance. It could be a distraction. Noise could be you. Noise could be something that you need to delegate that you haven't delegated. Let me write that down like that. Hindrance, distraction, delegate. Thank you, God. Okay. All right. And if you're not doing these things and you're taking on too much yourself, then you won't have time for the priorities that God has given you. And the priorities that God has given you are all part of the assignment that are necessary for you so that you can do what He's called you to do. You can serve who He's called you to serve. So that's what you've got to remember, y'all. That's what you have got to remember. It's all about who has God called me to serve and how has God called me to serve. That's the assignment. For some of you, your service is through writing. For some of you, your service is through speaking. For some of you, it's through preaching. For some of you, it's through teaching. So many different ways that God has called us to serve. But if you have too many noises on your list, then that's why you can't do the things that are necessary. All right? The prioritization schedule, if you don't know how to do that and you haven't done that already, then things that really should be necessary, they end up being procrastinated. Procrastination sets in because you spend more time doing the noise because you don't know how to do the prioritization. Okay, and again, that's what we're going to be focusing. That's one of the things. We got 3 major outcomes of the boot camp that we're going to be doing Actually, it starts tomorrow night. The boot camp. I'm excited about the boot camp. It's something different that I've done before for me, but I've never done it before. I've never taught it this way before. And so I am excited about it. It is an investment. I will tell you, it's $197, so it's not cheap. Okay. But it's an investment that will last you year after year after year. What these women have invested in themselves and they're going to learn in the boot camp, they'll be able to use it over and over and over again. As a matter of fact, part of the requirement is that they use it over and over and over again. I'm going to be teaching them a system because everything is about a system. Okay, so you got the first thing I want you to do. I want you to complete that focus assessment. Determine whether things in your life, is it necessary or is it noise? And remember, noise is a distraction. Noise is a hindrance. Noise is something that you have not delegated, that you need to delegate. Okay? For those things that are noise, you need to let it go, release it. And let me give you a hint. Things like unforgiveness, things like bitterness, things like anger, all those kind of spirits, noise. That's noise. If you're harboring unforgiveness, if you haven't let something that someone did to you go so that you can move on, that is noise. And for some of you, now let me help you a little bit right here. Then I got to go on to my next thing so we can end. Some things in your life, your noise might require some counseling. It might. I'm a firm believer that some people need some counseling. My cousin, Audrina Jones-Bunton, she's a counselor in Durham. You may need to call her. Okay. Lakia Washington, counselor. You may need to call her. Okay. I'm not recommending these people. I'm just telling you they're counselors and you may need to. I can't recommend people because this is part of the nature of my job. I can't recommend them, but they're good at what they do. And sometimes noise requires counseling. And if your noise requires counseling, get help so you can get into 2020 and do what you need to do. Okay? Now, second thing I want you to do is when you focus, as we focus and as we go into 2020, focus on results. Focus on results. If you're writing, write that down. Okay? My mentor taught me about 8 years ago to stop focusing on just things that are to-do list and start focusing on results. Okay. So for example, if you are working on writing a book, then a focus for this week could be to complete chapter 1. Okay. So that focus the result that you're focusing on is to finish chapter 1 or to chapter 1. That's the result. That's what you want to have in your hand at the end of the week. Now, the milestones that you have to do to complete that, to get to that result, are the actions that you need to take. So many times we have these elaborate to-do lists and they are not connected to any result. So what you doing them for? Why are you doing them? If they're not connected to a result, then why are you doing them? It doesn't make any sense for you to do a bunch of actions that aren't connected to a result. Now, there are going to be some things that may not be connected to a result. But actually, no, I can't think of anything that's not connected to a result. It could be sweeping your floor. Well, the result is your house is clean. All right, you have a clean house. Like one of the things that I've got to do, I wanted to do this weekend, but I didn't get the help I needed, hint, hint, from my husband and son, okay, was to get my Christmas decorations up. So I want my Christmas decorations up by Wednesday. So tonight, the result is Christmas decorations up. Okay. some of the actions that we're going to do. One of the actions they're going to do tonight is to help me take everything that I need from the 3rd floor down to the 1st floor. Okay? Those are actions that are in alignment with the result. So when I talk about my assignment, one of the assignments for me this week is my Christmas decorations up. One of the assignments for me this week is to make sure that I have prayed and fasted and do what I need to do so I'm prepared to teach and do orientation on tomorrow night and then do the live session on Thursday afternoon for the Actions Plus Result Bootcamp. One of the results for me is that I am in prayer for the women who are becoming or who are already a part of the Action Plus Results Bootcamp, okay? And for those women who are coming, because I know some of you are going to sign up. Okay, you can't miss this opportunity. So focus on results. Here's the thing. Instead of setting a whole bunch of goals, and like I said, I'm not setting goals anymore. I know what my assignment is, and then I set daily results. What's the result I want to get to at the end of the day? What's the result I want to get to at the end of the week? Because when I know the result, that's going to drive what I do every day. Okay, the reason that you don't stay focused, you go to a conference or this or that and you start doing all these different things, is because you don't know the results that you should be looking for. You don't know the results that you should be looking for. So I'm going to be telling you from now until whenever the Lord says shift. Okay, when he says shift, I'll change. All right, I'll change my teaching topic. But right now, it's action plus results. You must focus on the results. And I wrote some questions down here. What are the actions I need to take to get the results that I'm looking for? Or the actions that I need to take to get the results that God wants? Your results happen through your daily decisions. But here's the thing. If you don't know the results that you're looking for, you don't know the decisions that you need to make. Or you can make a wrong decision. Okay? Make a decision to get the desired result, and then you'll do the action it takes to get that result. Okay, this is not rocket science, y'all. This is just changing the way you think. Now, one of the things, we're going to do several things in the Actions Plus Result boot camp, but one of the things, there are 5 things, and I thought I had this out already, that we're going to be doing. I'm going to go to this one over here. In the Actions Plus Result boot camp, we're going to make sure that you have a clear focus, a plan of focus in 2020. That's one of the things these ladies are going to come out with. Some of the ladies are already on here, and they're excited about being there. I'm excited about them being there. They're going to develop what's called movement strategies. I can't tell you what all this stuff is, but just know they're going to develop 7 movement strategies. So if they get stuck, they'll know how to do and what to do. I can't tell you all this. I'm limiting everything now to an hour. That's one of my results that I'd have to have. In order to have that result, I've got to move a little faster, right? So, number 3, they're going to develop monthly milestones that are in alignment with their divine assignment. If you're not in alignment with your divine assignment, then, like I said earlier, somebody could tell you anything, and you go off and start doing stuff, and God has a bit more told you to do that. You know why I know that? Because I've been there, done that last year. God had to show me, sit me down, really lay me down, okay? Lay me down so that I would get it, and understand it, okay? The ladies in the Action Plus Results Bootcamp are going to do a prioritization schedule. They're going to learn how to do a prioritization schedule. They're going to do it for the entire month of January, and then they're going to repeat that over and over, okay? They're going to repeat that over and over, and you have to do it every month. Some of you have to do it every week. Depends on how your schedule changes. And then finally, they're going to get the kind of accountability, and it's being with like-minded women. So if you haven't already signed up for the Actions Plus Results Bootcamp, bit.ly/AR Bootcamp 2020, you need to get in there. Because when you focus on results, and that's what we're going to be doing. Everybody tied to me. It's action plus results. And when you focus on results, that drives your decision making. That gets you the milestones that you need so that you can produce the deliverables that you need to produce. How are you going to write a book if you don't have some results that you need to do for that book? And one of the things, let me tell you, one of the things that you have to have is, what is it that God wants me to do? What is it that I'm supposed to be working on at this particular time and point in my life? And you know what? If you don't know, and I'm not going to be able to tell you that, okay? But if you don't know, there are still actions that you can put in place to start working. If you don't know what God has called you to do, then, you just need to start working and start working somewhere. Because that's the problem. You're waiting on God to tell you something. God's saying, I'm waiting on you to move. I'm waiting on you to get started and move. Let me bless you right here with this, to release some of you from something. God does not bless idleness. God does not bless idleness. If you are not moving, and at least moving and doing something for him, and doing a work for him, serving somewhere, then how can he give you more and you're not doing anything already? Common sense, y'all. Come on. All right. So remember, just a quick review. The one word is focus. The one word is focus. Ladies, you must focus. I'm not saying stay focused. It's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying stay focused. I'm saying focus. And to focus, you got to do two things. Number one, I want you to do that focus assessment. Go back, hear the replay if you don't know what I'm talking about. I want you to do that focus assessment. And then number two, as you focus, I want you to focus on results. Focus on results. That's what's going to take you to that elevation. That's what's going to, some of you have already been elevated, but you're having difficulty in your elevation because you're still operating like you're down here. And it doesn't work. Doesn't work, ladies. Will not work. Okay? So, I want you to focus. That's the word. Do the focus assessment. I want you to focus on results. Those of you who want to sign up for the boot camp or enroll, I only like to use the term sign up. Enroll in the boot camp. Go ahead and do it because registration will close at 5 p.m. No, I'm sorry. That's not right. Registration will close at 7 p.m. It's not 5, it's 7 because we're not starting tomorrow night until 9:30. So it will close at 7 p.m. tomorrow night, and that's Eastern Standard Time. 7 p.m. Let me look at my notes. They sent me what time it's going to close. Let me get that right for y'all. No, I'm sorry. 7:30. 7:30 on Monday because we're starting at 9:30. Okay, 7:30 on Monday, Eastern Standard Time. Enrollment will close. Enrollment will close. If you miss this opportunity, you may not get it again until first or second quarter. Don't look at, now there are ladies who have already signed up, and I'm going to just call them out. Is it okay if I just call them out? I've got a few minutes that I can just call them out. There are some ladies who have already signed up. And let me see, can I find that? I posted this already. Trying to see, can I find it? And I can't. I had listed out all the ladies who had already signed up for the boot camp. I can't find it right now. I know that some of them are on here that have already signed up for the boot camp. And don't look at them funny when on January 1st, actually I'm giving them January 2nd. On January 2nd, they're taking off and they have their focus. They have their assignment. They know, and I'm not giving assignments. I don't want you to think I'm giving assignments. No, some of you already know what it is that God has called you to do. Some of you already know the assignment that God has given you because He gave it to you in 2019, and you didn't have the focus that you needed. So it's December 1st, and you still haven't done it. So you're carrying that same noise into 2020. Okay, so I'm not giving you your assignment. Let me help you there. I'm not doing that. I am making sure that you are on target, that you are able to come out of there with a plan of focus for 2020. And your plan of focus is going to be around the assignment that God has for you. So I encourage you to sign up for the boot camp. Let me give you one more thing that I wanted to share with you. What are we going to cover in the boot camp? For those of you, and I'm reading this off my screen, you can actually go to bit.ly/AR Bootcamp 2020, and it's right there for you. But what are we going to cover? First of all, I'm gonna be this won't be the first thing that I cover, and they're not in this order, but so that you'll know what's in the boot camp. Some of you just need to go ahead and do your goals. So I'm going to cover the difference between a goal and a divine assignment. Which one is best for you? Because a divine assignment, although there is one for everybody, all of you aren't ready for it. Ooh, ooh, I'm sorry. Ouch. If I stepped on your toe, ouch. Everyone has a divine assignment, but are you ready to do it yourself? Are you ready to complete it? Okay, so we're going to talk about that. The 7 characteristics of your divine assignment. Identifying what your divine assignment is for this season. That's going to be critical because that's going to be the basis of the work you're going to do. Why is it necessary to fulfill? Who are you assigned to work with? What happens when you lose sight of your assignment? And then the actions for your assignment. Okay, and it's actually more than that. That's the major topics. Everything that we're going to be doing falls under that. And again, this is intense. This is only 2 weeks, y'all. On the 19th, the actual classwork is finished. On the 19th, 19th of December, the classwork is done. But it's intense. All right, there's check-ins every single night. Every single night there'll be check-ins, and we don't have new course material every night. Course material is only on Tuesday and Thursday, okay? And the course itself is from 12 noon to 1:30. Use your lunchtime wisely, all right? Use your lunchtime wisely. I'm doing it both Zoom and Facebook Live. So for those of you that can't get on Zoom, which is the way I used to do everything, if you can't get on Zoom, you can still see everything via Facebook Live and still be live. Because sometimes you can listen to stuff on your job, but you can't participate, but you can listen. Okay? And I'm doing it during lunch because you know why? If you want something different, like my bishop said this morning, you've got to do something different. So for those of you who can't make the nighttime and you complain, I forgot, I did that, you're not going to forget this. Because this is your lunchtime. This is your professional development. This is taking you to that next that God has for you in terms of your assignment in 2020. I'm just telling you. What these ladies are going to get out of this, those that have enrolled. And for those of you that have not enrolled, I'm just sorry. I don't know what you're waiting for. Okay? Now, let me tell you this, and then I'm going to head out. So, for those of you that sign up as of like right now, everybody that signed up on Friday and before already got the bonus. Those people that sign up like right now and between for Cyber Monday, whenever Cyber Monday, well for us Cyber Monday is going to end at 7:30 because we begin tomorrow night. Orientation starts tomorrow night. So everybody that signs up will get, and I never do this with a class, never, but I'm doing it now because it's required. It's what God says, is you get an hour session with me, and that's broken up into 2 30-minute sessions. You can do the 1 hour if you want, but we're going to break it up into 2 30-minute sessions. So I get to hear what you're doing and answer your individual questions. You're going to be able to ask and answer questions in the class anyway. And the class is totally online. Okay. When I say totally online, it's totally, you don't have to come to a location. Okay. It's actually all digital. All right. And so, I'm looking at my time, making sure I'm staying true to the time. Okay. So that's the bonus. I'll talk more about that Cyber Monday bonus probably a little bit later on in the morning because I'm not giving you much time to jump in and do that. But there are bonuses that are already listed in the action bit.ly/AR Bootcamp 2020. There are 2 bonuses that are already listed there. And then there are the third bonus is actually individual time with me, which I never do in a class like this. And for those people that have ever had individual time with you, 30 minutes with me, 2 30-minute sessions with me is probably like 3 or 4 hours with somebody else. Okay? 3 or 4 hours with somebody else. So, remember the word is focus. Not stay focused, but focus. What is your focus? Do your focus assessment. Focus on results. Sign up for the Action Plus Results Bootcamp. For those of you that have already signed up, thank you. I'll see you there. For those of you that are thinking about it, don't think too long. Don't get left by the wayside because this train, as my daddy says, is going to keep on moving. Love y'all. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.